Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Are you having a good week? I hope you're having a good week. My week has been pretty good, pretty busy, but also super, super fun. And if you don't notice, I'm in my pajamas. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I'm wearing my Playlist Live t-shirt because I will be there in Orlando, May 5th, 6th, and 7th. Come hang out, get your tickets, come meet me. I'd love to see your beautiful faces, take pictures, all that stuff. But let's jump into today's question because it's actually a really, really good one and something we haven't talked about before. And this was a question that actually came up on my Patreon page. I do extra videos. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a way for you to support creators that you like, to help support their channel so we can keep doing what we love and keep bringing these wonderful videos and hopefully educational content to you. And this came up on my Patreon account for one of the extra videos that I do each month for them. And I just really thought it was important that we talk about it more here as well. So let's get into it. It says, hey, Katie, I have a question for you, but first I need to give you a little brief explanation. I was molested by my stepfather when I was 14 to 15 years old. At that same time, I was hurting my younger sister in a somewhat similar way. I've only recently started talking about it, as I've been too guilty and ashamed to ever talk about it before now. There isn't much out there regarding sibling abuse, period. I was curious to know your thoughts on it from both perspectives. For example, from the perspective of a kid hurting her little sister, while I myself was being hurt as well. I've been having a really hard time coping with talking and thinking about it and the guilt and shame that I feel. It's exponentially greater than before when I avoided it. How can I heal from this? I don't believe I meant to hurt her, but I feel so responsible and sometimes compare myself to my stepdad who hurt me. It's so confusing and hard. Also, I'm curious to know how to address the issue with that sibling or if it's best not to. My sister and I have a pretty good relationship still, and I don't know if I should ever bring it up or not. I mean, I know she remembers because my mother constantly brought it up over the years because she believed my sister when she told our mom what I did, but she didn't believe me when I told her I was molested by my stepdad. Ugh, frustration, right? But I think there's a lot of things that we can talk about with this, and I want to break it into different chunks because the truth about this is we're going to have to work on it in separate sections. And so the first section of this is healing from your own abuse. And I know this particular person is in therapy and working on it, but if you're out there and you have been sexually abused or molested at any point in your life, anytime, please see someone, please reach out, please talk. I promise it can get better. And there's an amazing book that I talk about all the time, the Courage to Heal workbook. It's a yellow workbook. I'll put a link in the description so you can go grab one. I really love that book because it not only changes the way that we talk about surviving abuse, but it also does it in kind of a timeline fashion where you start off by recognizing that it happens and you end with having a healthy sex life yourself and what that can really look like. And so I think that those are all wonderful components and there's everything in between. It's a great book. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, but back to the question. We need to heal ourselves first. And I know that this is going to come up with regard to your healing, and that's okay. I would encourage you not to shy away from it because it's really part of your story. There's also another important factor that I want to mention, and that is that we learn a lot of behaviors and tools and techniques or lack thereof from our family and from people that we're around. And often I find when I've worked with clients who've been sexually abused that they were told this was how love was expressed, or they were told this was normal, or this is the way that people do it, or this is what you're supposed to do with your family. And they're told all sorts of lies and fed a lot of false information in order to go along with the abuse or molestation. Therefore, we do find a lot of siblings abuse other siblings, other friends, other family members in general because they're told that it's normal, healthy, it's something that we do, it's a way to show love, or whatever they're told. Also, because as children, when we are abused, we often feel like we can't say anything, or we might be threatened and told not to say anything, or something bad would happen. Someone we love could be hurt or harmed, or will be hurt or harmed in some way. Therefore, it's sometimes our way of screaming to be heard and told that something's wrong. Children will play inappropriately with other children. That's something that as therapists we're trained to notice, the way that they interact, even playing with dolls, but mostly interacting with others. And siblings, it's very common that we will act out on them what's being acted out on us. I know that doesn't make it feel any better, but I just want you to know that it is very common. Almost like we're mimicking behavior from someone we look up to, a parent, right? We're mimicking that behavior in relationship with our sibling. And so going back to like the stages that I think this needs to run is first we need to work on healing from our own abuse. Secondary I want you to talk about the guilt and shame associated with hurting your little sister, because I don't believe that you intentionally did it either. And no, that doesn't make it okay. I'm not condoning the behavior, but I'm also not going to berate you and tell you how terrible you are, because it wasn't your idea. It wasn't something that you went and sought out and tried to do. It's something that was happening to you. Therefore, you were mimicking that behavior with your sister. And so I'd like you to talk about that guilt and shame with your therapist, because guilt and shame are extremely powerful, powerful emotions. And it's something that I'm actually doing a little bit of research on. I would love to do a video purely about shame and guilt and the power it has over us. But that's why I think that's the next stage, is working directly on that experience and all the things you told yourself about it, processing through it. And then thirdly, working through what happened with your sister and giving her the option to talk to you about it. That's what I want. The word option, I'm saying that slowly and clearly so you really hear it. We can give her the option. She has every right to tell us to go pound salt. She doesn't want to see us, whatever. But it sounds like you have a pretty good relationship with her, which is great. And I'm hopeful that by utilizing that relationship, we're able to talk about the hard things. But I want you to do it from the place of you hope it's helpful for her and in turn helpful for you. If we go into situations like this wanting to talk with them about it because it'll make us feel better, it can be more traumatizing or re-traumatizing for the person that we're bringing into it. So the way that I would go about it is to softly ask her. And the way that I would say that would be something to the effect, let's say your little sister's name is Susie. So we'll say, hey Susie, I'm working on a lot of the abuse stuff from when I was younger in therapy, and I would love if you would be a part of that if you feel comfortable, because I do think there's a lot we could talk about. And you can just say, I'm going to leave it at that, take time to think about it, but just let me know. And you can even reiterate, no pressure. I just want you to know that that's what I'm working on, and I would love to be able to talk that out with you. That's it. They have to come around to it and decide that it's something they want as well, because like I said, otherwise we can re-traumatize them. I think this is a great topic, and there truly wasn't that much information out there about healing as an abuser yourself, other than from the perspective of being like a physically abusive wife or husband or mother, brother, sister, and trying to reintegrate back into your family because you've been in therapy and you're working on yourself. And a couple of the components they talk about are, and I'm just going to read from this little list, is like admitting fully to what you have done. And that's why I'm saying if your sister's open to it, if she's open to it and she wants to come, admit fully what you've done. Stop excuses and blaming, make amends. But these are all, like I said, they're more towards someone who was abusive to someone else and wasn't abused themselves at the same time. But I do think that some of those statements still ring true, that we do need to admit everything that happened and own up to the behavior that we did and apologize for what happened. Because the truth is, I don't think you meant to hurt her. I don't think you had any intention of doing that. It was just the only way that you could speak, like shout about what was happening, express what you were going through, because you were telling your mom and she didn't believe that that was happening. But I want to hear from you. It's not just about me talking about it, but I wanted to hear from all of you. And that's really the reason I wanted to bring this question up. I want to know what your thoughts are. Have you been in situations like this? What helped you? Are there things that I missed and didn't mention that you think are really pivotal to overcoming this and healing from it? Let us know. Are there other books and workbooks that we should pick up? Tell us in the comments. And if you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you next time. Bye.